Brighton 4, West Ham United 0. It's really difficult to put into words what an abject performance that was from West Ham. After the last two performances that we put in against Nottingham Forest and against Man United in midweek, many fans came to Brighton thinking that we were going to give this team a good game. But what a difference between the two teams. West Ham, no organisation whatsoever on the pitch from the minute the game kicked off. Brighton, you've got to hold your hand up to Brighton in the way that they play, in the way that they approach the game. They looked like they didn't even get out of second gear, and it was a really, really good performance from them, but boy oh boy did we make it easy for them as well. The first goal, soft penalty, to be quite honest with you. That was right in front of the away fans, and it was soft. But I guess if that was over on the other side, if one of our players had gone down like that, we would have been calling for a penalty. And then that gave Brighton the comfort that they needed in order to take the game to us. Ben Johnson got absolutely roasted on the right side of defence. He just wasn't at it at all. He was poor, and then that seemed to spread throughout the team. We had, I think, one shot on target, if that. I think it was from Bowen in the first half. We had nothing in the second half whatsoever. We looked bereft of ideas. We couldn't get the ball to each other, couldn't string more than two passes together. Whereas Brighton's clever. Caicedo made Declan Rice look second-rate today. Every time Brighton got the ball from their goalie, Caicedo was there just in front on the outside of the 18-yard box to pick it up unmarked every single time, turn it and start the attack. And Brighton looked comfortable. There's not one moment in the game that we put them under pressure in any way. The team lineup was the same team that played against Nottingham Forest, and look at the performance we put in. Talking to a couple of people on the way out, and they suggested that the way the team played last week against Nottingham Forest was because the players got together and had a discussion about what to do and played for each other, whereas Moyes had the same team but seemed to set us up in a very different way. We seemed to be on the back foot from the first minute. Not one pass forward. Ings didn't get a sniff of the ball throughout the whole game. And it wasn't that he was marked out of the game, it's because we weren't passing it to him. We weren't passing it to any of our attacking players. And then Ben Rama, as per usual, when we're not playing well, was the fall guy, and Fornals came on. Didn't really do much different, to be quite honest with you. Looked at the bench. Scamacca was there, and Zuma was there. One wonders if Zuma had started, would it have been any better? Probably not. He looked really, really rusty when he came on for Ogbonna. Ogbonna didn't even look like he wanted to come off, to be quite honest with you. And I feel sorry for Areola. He comes in to replace Fabianski and has 7 goals put past him in 2 games. And one can't, people are arguing for the first goal against Man United. He should have commanded the box, but let's be honest. In this game, all 4 goals, you can't really blame the keeper. Poor defending, poor team performance throughout. We allowed them all the space, all the time to build up their play in order to get into the positions to score the goals, and they embarrassed us today. They absolutely embarrassed us. They played really well, but then we played really, really poorly. Moyes looked bereft of ideas. If you've got Scamacca on the bench, why not use him? Didn't even come on. The substitutions he made, Zuma came on for Ogbonna, Downs came on, Fornals came on at half-time, Lanzini came on, not a sign of Scamacca. So he's either injured or there's something seriously going on between him and Moyes, because not to use him at all when we were chasing the game looked bizarre, absolutely bizarre. What now? Because we look at the performance we look at the way we were set up, and Moyes bereft of ideas. What's he going to do now? Because he looked like a manager who was clueless on the sidelines. And you know what? After the season that we've had, this was the first time that the away fans really got on Moyes' back, singing "Don't know what you're doing," etc., etc. And Moyes really didn't seem to know what he was doing. You know, as you know, if you watch my channel regularly, you know that I'm always trying to be balanced and always try to see the good side of things, but there's nothing good really to come out of today's game at all. Clueless, couldn't pass the ball to each other. And in the second half you think, okay, you know, second half comes, we get ourselves together and we start again. There's more of the same. It probably worse in the second half than it was in the first half, to be honest with you. And does 4-0 scoreline flatter Brighton? No. Really organised team, really together, really composed. Like I said, they didn't even get out of second gear. It was a sad performance from West Ham. You know, you want to pick something out of that to say, well, maybe, you know, there's something to take forward, but there's nothing whatsoever to take from that game to suggest that we can build on that. What happens now? I mean, David Moyes, does the board keep him? He went straight down the tunnel at the end of the game. Angry. He should be angry at himself. He should be angry at the way he set us up. He should be angry at the way we performed. But he should be angry at himself for not making changes. Brighton were winning, and they were making changes, and they were making even positive changes to sort of get more out of the game. And yet Moyes looked bereft of ideas. I never, you know, I felt down after the Man United game for losing 3-1, but at least we could take something from that and say, you know, the scoreline flattered Man U, and you know, we took a good performance from that after the performance from Nottingham Forest as well. But I can't take anything from this. I can't look at any player to suggest that anyone, you know, put their effort in. Declan looked like he didn't want to be there, but it's not just his fault, because no player came out shining from that game today. The first half, you could argue it was just Ben Johnson who was got at and wasn't doing well, couldn't cope. But in the second half, it looked like the whole team was being got at and couldn't cope. Just poor. I don't know what else to say. I wish I could find something to say that's positive about this. We're kind of all waiting now to hear whether Moyes survives or not, because after that performance, I can't see that he can. And this is the first time this season I've actually said that I can't see Moyes surviving this. But will the board act? And if they do, who are they going to bring in? Nolan apparently looked upset. Apparently he threw a water bottle on the floor. It looked like he was having a disagreement with Moyes, maybe about substitutions. Why oh why did he not bring Scamacca on throughout the whole game? So if it is curtains for Moyes, then he's done it in a grandiose way, hasn't he? You know, 4-0. I mean, we've not lost by that margin all season. To come to Brighton, a team that we should be on par with, if not better than, you know, we put in a performance like that and get beat like that. I can't believe it, you know. But it shows that Brighton have got a system. Brighton have got a setup. Their manager, they change manager, they change players, etc. And it looks no different because they've got a strategy in place. They've got a system in place that can sustain that, you know, and on they go. And they deserve to be in the league where they are because they look like a really good team. Everything that we should be that we're not. Good passing, good movement, good build-up play, chances galore. You know, they missed a load of chances. Not only did they put 4 away, but they missed a load of chances as well. And it's a shame. You know, I'm going home. Well, I'm going out later, but leaving Brighton just feeling quite dejected. I'll put a little bit more together in another show. I'll give a fancast view of this game on Sunday, and then the West Ham weekly on Monday night.
So here I am on Lewes Station. We're going to swap over and then go back into Brighton and then head the way for home. This is the last video. I've probably said it in a few videos before, but if he hasn't gone by tomorrow night, I don't know when he's going to go. That was awful. Claret Booze boys, Nick, Gary, Killington, and of course the rest of you. You were right, I was wrong. David Moyes has got to go. Here you are, you heard it here first. I don't know what else to say. Will I be there in Larnaca? Of course I will. Will I be there against Villa? Of course I will. Will we be going Fulham? Absolutely. But that was a shower of shit. A shower of shit. They're not playing for him anymore. Sorry, David Moyes. Time for you to go. Until the next one. Come on, you Irons. Oh, by the way, nice to see you, Nigel Khan. Very nice to see you. How did you get a ticket for that then, buddy?